Not sure actually, because like I don't have the original seeds open right now.
Okay. Well, we can quickly check here. But I know Vandal has like an 11 something, so I'm curious to see what strats that he would go for in general. I haven't really seen him stream, I think, at all. I've been checking out like a lot of the random runners and stuff like that, and I don't think I've seen him stream yet. So he's quietly kind of checking stuff. Yeah, climbing, as Fiesel said, like I have timed my individual climbs against Endy, and within the first stage I lose like 0.5 or a second completely. And in H, I'm about 0.1 behind, so I'm almost beating his H, but I come nowhere close on the intro stages. Like, I lose so much time. So, the intro stage is pretty easy. I guess it's zone 0, technically. There's really, it's a weird combination, because, like, the first part of the stage is kind of, like, the scariest, because if you die, like, some people... like I just did, it's a huge time loss. It's like 30 seconds or more. But in general, the second part of the stage is usually pretty easy. So I guess one thing to point out too is the boss. The bosses all take 5 hits, but there's actually a pretty decent rhythm that you have to kind of maintain. You want to talk about that rhythm, Kat?
Not really, because I'm not exactly the best at explaining the rhythm, because I never was able to comprehend it in the first place.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it's still a mystery, apparently. But
yeah,
for sure, it requires a little bit of coordination and rhythm in that case. And
yeah, you kind of want to hit them like in between the invincibility frames and time it so just as the frames are ending, you're hitting them again, so you're not wasting time.
Yeah, and also minding the balls that he's throwing at you. So, and that's the tricky part for me personally. But like coordinating both jumps and the rhythm with which you have to throw the ball and avoiding balls is not exactly that free. I mean, it's not exactly as easy as they make it look, for sure.
No, there's a lot of seamlessness. Vandal becoming chipmunk soup there. It's worth noting those flies. They can be manipulated, all of them. They're really annoying if you kind of fall out of that pattern. And Endy missing the Endy kill, that's kind of ironic. I'm gonna throw that out there, Endy. Him and Stuck in a Plate, they made this very tricky kind of spaceship kill. It's arguably one of the hardest strats in the entire game. Next to the axe boosts in J. Definitely, it's a harder one. Who is faster, Chip or Dale? Chip aesthetically is better, in my opinion.
That's questionable.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hawaiian shirt and cloud nose of Dale, but in terms of like mechanic thing, they're identical. They seem to be like there's no difference or anything like that. So it's actually worth noting too. Ironically, Endy and Stuck in a Plate skill on the spaceship is again one of the hardest strats in the entire game. But ironically, the backup kill for the spaceship is one of the easiest. And if you go for the backup kill, you lose. Ooh, he has not done the RNG lock. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, he got a really random spaceship pattern.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see whatever happens next.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Vandal's aware of... Oh, and Endy died on the robot. That's interesting too. You know, the last hit on that robot is kind of scary. Whoa, Endy. Alright, he clutched it up. Yeah, so Vandal is playing against RNG bosses, which the biggest one is actually the spaceship. Whoa, Endy took another death there too. I wonder what's going on with Endy.
I mean, he pointed out that it's quite rusty, because the last time that he played Chip and it was probably for the Pennsylvania's marathon or something like that. So there's a little bit of rust probably going on right now, but...
Yeah, literally, he wrote that in my Discord earlier.
And he's typing in chat, so like, that's multitasking.
Yes.
And I don't know about that.
There's a great irony there in dying on the first screen of F, but then nailing the Joker boost, which is a 2-frame window.
Yeah, that's great. That's coherence right there.
Yeah, so yeah, better to get the rest out of the way for sure. But you know, there's something to be said there too, because death in this game is actually pretty punishing. There's not a lot of screens that you can kind of die on that are convenient, that you're only going to lose a little bit of time, because there's no checkpoint in this game at all.
Yeah.
You can get to the very end of the screen, and that's it. You just get sent right back to the beginning. So Vandal, again, having a radically different robot pattern. And I've never seen that robot shoot multicolored, like, ball things before.
Same, honestly.
I thought they were always red, but I guess, you know, the RNG or no RNG demo mode stuff spoils you. Yeah, like we've missed out on like such a plethora of colors. But so if Endy kills that third guy, which he just did, for some reason one of the bombs at the end of this screen despawn. Why? We don't know.
Logic?
Yeah, it's just one of the cool things about Chippendale. So you'll see runners, if they're aware of that, definitely kill that third. I don't even know what he is. It's like an antlion or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Some green. What is that, chat? That green dude that Endy just killed. What is that? I don't know. I'm sure there's a proper name for it. But Vandal, not too far behind, honestly. Yeah, the cutscene.
Flying a rocket now. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
man. See, no, okay, look, that cutscene is proof, like literal proof why Dale is better. Or wait, no, Chip. Sorry.
You said it.
Never gives. No.
First time is what counts. That's like a Freudian slip. How do they call it in English? I'm not even sure about that. But like, whatever it's said first, it's what matters. He said it.
All right. Well, I guess Dale's better. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yep.
All right. So Endy's climb, you'll see the ridiculousness of it in H. He actually goes right side. I'm curious why he did that. The middle, as far as I know, is a little bit faster and more consistent, so maybe just Endy is more comfortable on the right side climb, I'm not sure. But I'm kind of surprised that he went for the right side.
I mean, reverted to traditional strats, that's probably whatever he's more comfortable with, because I mean, that's probably, I'm not even sure how about, I mean, the other strats in the specific climb, how new they are and how updated they are.
The old right side climb was kind of like the first variation.
Yeah, I mean the traditional approach, isn't it? But
yeah, and there's 4 box grabs in that one, which make it a little bit trickier.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
The middle side, there's I think only 1 box grab right up in the middle, and then the one that I tried, I wouldn't say it's task only because I can hit it like maybe 30 or 40% of the time, but it may be probably not worth going for, because even if you get it, it's only 0.2 faster than the current record climb. And that's the one where you just run up and you boost off the squirrel into the pipe section. And so, one thing that I do want to point out too is on Vandal's side of the screen, as he kind of like gets to the top of this section or whatever, the worst enemy placement in the entire game is not that flying squirrel coming up, but after you jump over like this little gorge, this squirrel will claim some souls today. That guy that he just killed with the box is probably like the worst enemy placement, outside of possibly a lizard with the hat kind of guarding the door right at the end of J. Both of those enemies are jerks, because if you miss actually the box throw, if you throw it too early, you'll just fall into the pit. Like there's basically no recovery there. And the lizard with the hat is probably one of the worst ones in J, because if you die there, there's no checkpoint so you get sent all the way back to J at the beginning of the second screen. And I didn't do any kind of frame perfect nonsense like that. So Endy's J, I'm very curious if he'll go for the axe strat. I think the boost itself is 2 frames. It's probably again one of the hardest strats in the entire game. He can't go for it now, actually. He took a hit on that plunger. So I guess there's going to be either some waiting or some kind of modified axe strat there, but that's the biggest downside. Okay, he's going to take 1 still. But that's the biggest downside if you take 1 hit on the beginning of J2 or anything like that. you have no choice, and I admire that. I tried for that jump.
That's bold.
Yeah, no, I felt like a chicken right when I jumped there because no, I bailed on that jump and I bailed on the last lizard because I thought he was gonna hit me. But I do like that lizard strat. That's the fastest thing that you can do on that lizard climbing section. So we have Fat Cat. A pretty good time by Endy, 10:21.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, it's worth noting, just talking about the Pelicans and stuff like that. The Pelicans are, I think, a pixel perfect jump. Correct me if I'm wrong, Endy. You can like pixel perfect jump over the Pelicans in stage I. Save you probably again frames, but it's one of the harder things to do for sure. Good job, Endy. 10:21. I'm kind of curious to see, you know, like the median time that people are.
Yeah, it would be interesting to check that actually.
Yeah, because I honestly thought like 10:03 was okay compared to my PB, but I mean, you feel the mistakes I think even harder in a race setting, for sure, because you don't reset like you.
Yeah, you just had to take whatever happens and work with that.
Normally, obviously, if I make a mistake in H or something, I just reset it, but. So, Vandal doing pretty good. Coming up on... Probably one of the safer ways to do that section is ironically run under all the lizards like that.
Yeah, for sure.
All the other strats kind of involve nonsense. So, it'd be interesting to see... This is what I was just going to say. Does he know how to jump over that plunger? He does, great. That's like probably one of the most useful safe strats in the entire game, because casually a lot of people get stuck in that section and they die on that conveyor belt with 1 health, and they don't know what to do anymore. And dying on Fat Cat, ironically, is probably one of the friendlier deaths that you can do. But he has RNG Fat Cat, so his ashes fly everywhere. Alright, 12-13. GG, Vandal. That was a great showing. I definitely admire Vandal going up against Endy. Especially RNG at that too. He entered the no RNG tournament.
Yeah, that definitely complicates things a little bit.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll let them regroup and reset, and we'll see how it goes after that.
And make sure both of them play the demo, because that's probably advisable.
Very. I had some issues there. Maybe while we wait, can you address the people in the Discord asking those questions?
Yeah,
Just tell them to go live, and obviously we can capture ahead of time. And then I can deal with Endy and... Okay, we'll get Endy and Vandal to run again. Okay. Endy won that one, and we're just getting ready here to make them go again. Not make them go. We're not forcibly, whatever. You
get the point, yeah.
Yeah. Bad grammar. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Endy won that match. Okay. exactly. Okay, looks like they're ready to go. And T writing in chat like a secret agent. We know his secret agent number now. 009. Not as good as James Bond apparently, but no 007.
Yeah, a couple of degrees below that.
Yeah. Alright, so they are ready to go and they'll start pretty shortly here. So again, all credits to Vandal. I mean, I'm not sure how familiar he is with races or anything like that in terms of like participation or other stuff that he's joined in the past, but I do like how he jumped into this one, and I do like how he has been a pretty good sport about literally versing Endy, so he went into it with a very positive mindset, and I admire that a lot.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, sportsmanship was there for sure. Even from the...
Endy!
Yeah.
You pulled a Dave, Endy. What are you doing? Alright, so Endy dying on the intro stage as well. I mean, like, all the deaths that you could take in this game, I'm actually scared, I think, the most of the intro. Because there's really not a good way to die on the first climb or the second climb and not lose like 20 to 30 seconds, so...
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like a very long vertical stage, so there's literally no way that you can safely die and recover easily, so...
No.
That's unfortunate how you look at it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty painful. So, Vandal in the lead, currently. And I mean, he actually went underneath, so I'm not sure if he knows how to do the damage boost or anything like that. Ooh, kinda, whoa, kinda got a wild boss fight. I'm not sure, I guess we'll see in the spaceship fight if Vandal manipulated the RNG. So how that works for anybody that might be just joining in is on the title screen. If you let the title screen go to the demo mode, and then you exit out of the demo mode, all the boss fights are the same. But last time, Vandal did not do that properly somehow, or maybe he pushed start too fast or something, because there's a couple frames where the demo mode doesn't register if you push start obscenely fast. But we'll see it in the spaceship fight coming up if you had the demo mode manipulation correctly. It's actually worth pointing out too, these taps, they suck. They're actually one of the weirdest, I think, like optimized areas where you can lose a lot of time running on them slowly. And they're the weirdest input because all you do is you push left and right, but there's no other point in the game where you push left and right. And, well, I mean left and right in like sequential order like that. You just go back and forth.
Yeah, it's actually a weird dynamic because it doesn't show in any other place of the game specifically.
No.
And it's not even the most comfortable dynamic for sure. Or even just continuously jumping on them, but it's kind of weird. Pretty singular for sure.
It is, yeah. Endy getting the Endy kill. Good job, Endy. We're proud of you. Alright, so I don't know what Endy and Loranium were talking about a little bit earlier, but in terms of like stage being difficult and stuff like that, D is actually really a hard stage. Endy has a very smart jump that he does at the very beginning there, where he grabs the box and he like jumps into like that Jack in the Box thing, and you can see, I guess Vandal is going for kind of like a safe variation there. But how it's normally routed and how probably a lot of runners might do it is you're actually at one screen at the end of that one health. And another thing that makes D kind of like a dumb stage is the ball that Endy just passed, not before he jumped over. We'll see it on Vandal's screen right here too. If you jump and you run, like literally, not this ball, but the ball coming up, if you, okay, he's gonna just switch it off. The ball that he just jumped over, if you don't stop your momentum, is actually, I think, like a 2-frame window. And if you fail that jump, you probably will get knocked into the pit. So it's a very punishing section as well. I don't know if the strat came from Herexen, but Herexen was the one that told me about it. And if you jump right before that ball and you stop like for a couple of frames and then jump over, you actually, it removes basically like that 2-frame window. It makes that jump actually pretty free. So if you're visually watching some of the runners later doing that jump, and if they stop for a couple of frames and they jump over the ball afterwards, then that's kind of like the safe variation there. And Endy getting the first Joker boost of the tournament. So I think that saves about 0.6. Again, that's a 2-frame window, so it's a pretty tight trick when it comes to F. But that's a good one. So ironically, the thing about the Joker boost is if you fail it, it's actually worth failing it and then going for it and failing, literally. Than it is not to go for it at all. And the way that works is the second ball cycle, when it's like rolling down, is actually slower if you just wait for both ball cycles. Chip and more chip. The runners made the right choices. We should have really had like a Dale and a chip tracker just to see where it went all tournament long.
Yeah, just divide people into 2 different teams.
Well, no, then we could like conclusively decide, okay, well, who is better, Dale or Chip, by everybody's participation in this tournament. So Endy opting to go with that fly boost. I was doing like that weird frame perfect box grab or whatever before. I think it only saves like literally 0.1, so it's probably not worth going for. You lose 0.1 on that fly boost, but it's very consistent, so. But Endy making really good pace, but Vandal is still really kind of following behind a pretty decent pace. He's having a pretty good run himself so far. Maybe because he's on the demo mode now, not some random.
Yeah, that probably helped a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have like some kind of like rainbow chucking whatever robot that he had before. Whatever that was, I've never seen it before. And
that was the smallest problem on the whole RNG seed that you got, actually.
Yeah, not even 0.1. I was told. We were told.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah, no, like you really have to like grab it frame perfectly, because realistically, if you bump even at all, you're probably wasting time. So, but that's not a good death by Vandal.
No, ironically, yeah.
Ironically, that's like a death you'll probably see fairly often. Like, it's not hard to make that jump at the same time. That's a really weird common death point in this game. Like it's a jump like any other jump, but for some reason it just happens sometimes. So. The estimate and the time average on these runs, that's a really good question. I think the lowest seed is 11:20 something, and some of the higher seeds are just under about 10 minutes. So like Endy has a 9:48, and then Herexen has a 9:53, and I have like a 9:54, and some other people like Steel Thunder in chat has a 9:59. But yeah, about 10 or 11 minutes, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. Even with the deaths, and I think some of the higher seed runners, like I took a death right at the very beginning, and I still wound up with a 10:30 whatever, 10:33 or something. So they should be pretty straightforward, pretty quick. So another thing too is the Caterpillar coming up. I'm not sure what was said in the previous commentary about the Caterpillar. But the Caterpillar casually is probably one of the bigger time saves, because I don't know if a lot of people know casually, because they just kind of wait for him. But as soon as he walks on the right side of the screen and you hit him, when he gets back to the middle part of the screen, he'll just break apart completely. And then you have to wait over and over and over. So you can see Endy approaching, not this screen, but the next screen when he gets to the Caterpillar fight. A lot of runners use an audio cue, and you can basically kill him in, I guess you would call it 2 cycles or whatever. So the very first cycle, he'll hit him 3 times if he does it properly. And then the second cycle, he'll hit him 2 more times, and he'll kill him before he touches the wall. So if he does it properly, this will be 3 hits, which he did. And then he'll hit him 1 more time here, and then before he touches the wall. That's pretty much like as perfect as you can get. but that's what your ideal caterpillar kill would look like. But every cycle that you don't do, or you let him have, I think you waste about 4 seconds, so it's quite a considerable time loss. So, Endy entering J. Let's see if he can go for the axe boost this time, because last time he took that accidental hit. He got knocked backwards. Alright, let's see what happens with Vandal and the caterpillar here. Yeah, I just saw it Endy wrote in the Discord there. It's like that didn't make sense. Alright, so Endy coming up on Fat Cat. Saved the health somewhere along the line. Finishes at the 10-17, which is quite strong. So I think his first one was 10-13 and then 10-17. Which is pretty good. And Vandal, I mean, you gotta give him credit. Only still about a screen behind Endy, but he's hanging in there for sure. So let's see what Vandal does on the axes. I probably would imagine maybe skip them. Or some kind of safe variation for sure. He's just gonna skip them entirely. Probably a smart idea. If you're kind of learning this game, the next couple of sections, like the lizards and all their hat throwing, is kind of an easy way to die.
Whatever comes after, yeah.
Yeah. But definitely go Vandal. Finish it up, you're doing good.
And if you don't want to bother with the box grab right in that section, which seems to be pretty tricky to gain health back.
Yeah. Alright. This time not taking a death on Fat Cat. Although knocking himself... Okay, he took a commentator curse, I guess.
There you go. Congratulations.
Alright. Next time, all Fat Cat fights will just be entirely silent.
Yeah, you better.
Alright, 11:53:53. We got some like numerology stuff going on there. Alright. GG Vandal, you did really, really good. And definitely GG to Vandal for sure. It's tough going up against Endy, no matter your skill level.
No,
but,
for sure. Yeah.
You know, factor in nerves of maybe like a first tournament or a first race or something, or maybe being a runner that picked up the game for the first time or something like that. He definitely did an excellent job. So, great job, Vandal, and great job as well, Endy. You can stay rusty, Endy. I'm okay with that. I mean, technically my 10:03 was a little bit faster than your 10:17, so if you want to keep this level of rust for the rest of the tournaments, I'll be happy. But something tells me that'll wear off pretty soon. So, I think the next two are probably set up, right?
Yeah, I think so. The streams are good and they're ready to go, probably.
Alright, maybe if you...
I'll tag them in the,
Okay, just give me like 1 second here and I'll be right back.
Sure.
And we can set up for the next one.